Hot test. It's alive. This is taking long, although it's a known issue. This should really require loading screen.
The UI font is still fucked. I can't read that. this is good. Let's bring it over here somewhere. All right, what were we supposed to do? We're gonna need to create some sort of a tutorial quest person. Give instance, this asset dump is the default for most of the characters. I think it should be pretty close. Maybe these guys should be moved to, whoops. Somewhere in the castle. Like so. This guy should be on this side. There we go. Hope the FPS is alright on the stream. I already noticed that the music doesn't loop, which is probably for the best. It appears the minimap is zoomed in for some reason at the start. Like, that's dumb. Also, this is a very inefficient way to make a minimap. I've set it up so that it uses a real-time camera, basically, that is top-down 2D rendering here, and it's just using game object layers basically for the rendering, and everything in the default layer, which is most of the stuff, is going to be printed there. That's why you can see like the tree, it's the same model as in the actual game, just from the top-down perspective. Everything same with everything else. The good thing with that is that we never have to draw a map if we want to have a very dynamic, constantly changing game environment. It would be very very costly in terms of drawing new maps constantly. Well, this is basically the equivalent of that, actually. The point is, if we want to have a traditional in-game map, it is like a scroll map drawn in a paper, or whatever, with like dedicated graphics, or a drawing style perhaps. But what we're doing is way more simple. I don't know how many times I've done this. I think I'm pretty sure I've done this in the project, but the keys are fucked. Whoops. At the start, so you might want to go through the key bindings. And okay, I just failed. That was correct. Mail is maybe minus. Guild, okay. Quest. L. Skills is P, but map is M, of course. And arena is none. Socials, oh, that's okay. So, yeah. You can move around in the map. I think it should actually change the default zoom when you're in the bigger map. Basically what happens in the atavism by default, when you open the map, it just scales the minimap from the corner like this, which is pretty nice transition, I think. You can't scroll too far because the map can be basically infinite. There's a set, I don't know why it says example level here still. That's weird. Yeah, it doesn't look very pretty. And in some ways, okay, the north thing is bugged. I would really like a simplified version of this, but if we want to make it dynamic, and we want to have a more simple, like a style, it's going to require some engineering, let's say, which would take in values from the changing terrain, for example, or buildings in the map, and then procedurally draw them on the map. That's how it's probably supposed to be done. What? Oh yeah. Whoops. We're missing capes still, I think, but I can actually do them myself, I think. Helmet. It's missing an icon. These particle effects, when you get the resource, are very annoying after a while. The movement sucks. But then again, we have the other type of controller. This. Well, that's not right. And now this one is a little more advanced. What I was thinking for the animator or the controller. Still, you know, we got the moonwalking. We had to make some sacrifices here and there to get the most compatible version. What I would really like to test right now is to have another player here. I can do that by myself, actually. But I have a few things that I need to test to see what it looks like from third person, let's say. In short, we have things that are running locally and things that are communicated between the clients over the server. So what I really want to test is how well do the animations work over to a second client. Because, for example, the hit, this thing, I'm pretty sure this is only local. And I'm interested to see what kind of bugs are introduced when a second player that is over the internet connected to your client and moving around doing animations and whatnot. Because obviously we don't have their input. One thing that could happen is like when we look at somewhere, all of the similar controllers will look at that direction or something like that. So we're gonna test that next. I'm gonna pull out my laptop, which already has the game pre-installed. But it's not on yet. What's this? What? There's a great picture of me with sort of a semi-bowl cut that I did when I was cutting my hair. And I was asking if I should put that as my new profile picture. But I think I can do better. I already got a little bit of hair going on here. I think if I grow it out for, I don't know, maybe a week or two, and then do the same thing, I can take a better picture than that. But okay, we don't have the power. All right. Here we go. Okay, I'm just gonna let this boot up for a bit and take a piss break. BRB.
Testing. Hello? Is it just not working? Hello, 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 hello. It's just so low. Hello? Testing. Oh, there we go. I'm an idiot. Okay. Now we need to figure out what the password was. The user I have. To look at my password. No, 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 no. This is the one. Save invalid password. Really? suppose I have to reset the password then. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's an issue. Something to Oh. Sorry.
I will command a great and terrible army. And we will sail to 1 billion worlds. We will sail until every light has been extinguished.
Where you tread,
You are strong, but I am beyond strength.
you will belong.
I am the end. And I have come for you.
He's mine now.
Fall.
Rose_Leo_20. Thanks for following.
Now where's that fucking email? Okay. No? Yeah? Oh. There it is. hope you're doing well as well. Do you stream daily? No, I'm sorry. I'll be right with you. I'm trying to log into my own account. It's my own system. I'm trying to reset my password too. Just a moment. I don't stream daily. I hope you can hear me. Also, I'm kind of not talking into the PC microphone right now. I'm on my laptop. So, just a moment. I want to really focus that I don't see my new password out. But yeah, I don't really stream daily. I could, but every now and then. Now, reset the password. We can log in the game. Okay. So the idea was just to have a peek at what kinds of bugs we should encounter with a new controller. For example, does the crouching work at all? In all fairness, it is implemented into the integrated into the system, into the global variables, crouching toggle, pretty similar to how walking works. Okay, I'm just gonna do another dude here. Just call him George. Oh shit, I probably should have done this first. George is right there. Well, first thing I noticed, we don't see the ragdoll. Also, this is what I feared would happen. George moves, we move, because the controller is using local switch. That's not good. What happens if George moves, actually? Well, he does move. And I think that the head rotation also is bugged, as I suspect it is. Look at that. Both of the guys are following my cursor. That's hilarious. So yeah, that's a flop, unfortunately. It should be restricted down to only your player character following your mouse, and then after that, we should implement the outside player characters doing the same. What's that? Yeah. Well, I mean, it is laggy. And the crouch doesn't work. What? Unless unless we both crouch. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, crouching doesn't have the auto run animation. Not actually moving the other character, turning it anyway. But this unfortunately is a flop. Thankfully I released the version update before I made more progress on this. I know how to fix it. We sort of have to start over from an earlier version or a similar version. Actually, the exact opposite version of the animator controller, which is Atavism default controller on the bottom, and then Invector built on top. This one uses Invector and the script on the bottom, and then Atavism. Depends how you look at it, of course. But, building from the ground up. Now, also one thing I've needed to test is this. Okay, so this camera's also broken. It was broken in 2 versions back. It should be pretty trivial to fix it. I'm contemplating I should. We can see the character. We have the character screen camera in the real world. Have an equipment window instead. So I predicted this bug. It would be all of the player characters basically have to hit headshot locally, and that probably goes for the holy shit. I just made the other guy swim. Is it because I tried to jump or what? If I jump here. Wow, wait, did the actual does the ragdoll actually work? Hold up. Okay. Jump. Surely. What the fuck is happening? Oh shit. I lost it. Swimming again. It does work. Okay, wow. I mean, there's no reason for it not to work. Except that, it doesn't. uh, so, see what happens if I do that first. On a similar lagging, 50 ms ping. This guy's 53, 50. The thing with Invector is that I have another different backend entirely or specifically built for Invector, and that has a tick rate of 100%, which is not ideal for MMOs. And this is probably something that is a result of exactly that, where I make things that like faster rate. So I would also really like to see what it looks like with the old character controller. Just a horse. The BBC controller. Let's try administrator. Oh, thank God. Let's summon him. There we go. Didn't ask permission. Yep. Apparently we're different. Now, but the thing I wanted to test is what happens on the mount. We can see this guy's also a bit laggy. What about running? Oh shit. Oh wait. I think I can kill this. That was long. I don't know what the issue is. It's the Unity's. It's the Unity's physics system, or more specifically, the rigid body component. Oh, my friend died. Oh man, I died. All right. I see. BRB.
Ogu 44 banana Ogu 44 banana Ogu 44 banana Ogu 44 stronk Ogu 44 stronk Ogu 44 smort Ogu 44 smort
Hello, motherfucker.
Yay!
Wow.
Sound test. Sound test. And that's going to echo for a while. Sound test. And that's going to echo for a while. We see the... Okay, that's enough. We see the... somehow green administrator naked. But we still attack him, which is confusing. I mean, this movement is nice and all. There's still the strafing that doesn't work. The crouching is okay, I guess. It's the only one that has the backwards motion that works. Let's see the free camera. Come on. Settings. Free camera. And it doesn't really change anything. Now the issue here, as previously stated, is that a lot of the features are just built locally and not in the whole system. Like, we have a server that is communicating certain things through the clients into the server, from the server to the clients, etc. And that system hasn't got those features, such as the animations that were buggy here. Buggy as Bucky, we see actually the character selection is pretty bad. But what I did, which is release like a smaller patch here, is to see exactly these bugs before I kind of follow through with any like final decision about the controller. So we've again come to the conclusion that we have to... Okay, let's... No beard. No beard, please. There. The next patch is mainly going to be about world building, but also obviously, as we've encountered these issues with controllers, we're gonna have to revert back to using the atavism base and then just integrating whatever features or animations we want from outside into the base. I think we can respawn here on the laptop as well. Should bring us here. Yep. We're butt naked. Misclick. Let's do 11. And we got such a bad lag here, so I'm just kind of going to look at these stuff. Maybe we can help out a little bit. So yeah, we've got all the basic stuff. The issue with this player in particular is that we probably don't have the ability to talk to these guys. Okay, we do. So these must be in a neutral faction. That's good. Still very laggy. Maybe we try to go high texture and not very high. Shadow distance very high. Maybe drop that. Particle raycast, VSync. Okay, we got so much more FPS from that. We don't have an armor merchant, so we might as well spawn one. Heavy armor. There we go. And as we sell the money glitch, we can buy basically anything. And they seem to be working. Yeah. Leggings also, perhaps. There. Holy shit, okay. So we... I think we might have found boots that increase movement speed by a lot. Okay, there we go. So those are broken as fuck. Those are okay. Maybe we take another weapon as well. Hellfire Edge. Thunder. It's a sword. Oh, and it looks horrible. Where are the good models? It is really awful. These are too stylized. I really wish I have the... I actually have to check. I like the higher quality weapon set because there is a very good looking set. If it's down here, then we can use it. Okay. Alright, another spammer bot. Get banned. So, these are just for this. Okay, let's look at the... Because surely these guys have the good things, right? Well, these are the stylized ones. How about sword? Okay. So... I'm just gonna quickly do an item. The emerald sword is proven to work pretty greatly. Emerald sword, we're gonna duplicate this guy. And I'm just gonna go for, I mean, any of these. Sword 8 underscore corrupted. And the icon is gonna be some sword. We're just gonna wing this. Corrupted. I mean, I don't know what it looks like, so we're just gonna take some general one. And all we need is to change the model and weapons. Where was this? Just sword. And sword 8 corrupted. Here. Okay. Got all the things. Let's type in here. This sword is seemingly cursed. ... Give it all flavor. All the same stats as the emerald sword. And now we take in the data. And we have it in the game. So, sword 8. What does it look like? Doesn't seem to work. Unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate, because I think those are exactly the models that are like high def. Crash? No. I would actually need to open the project to add these. Definitely need to add them. Alright, let's just, for the fun of it, let's try to change it to something else. Because why would I have forgotten to add the scripts to these? And I easily could have. Or this was partly the job for the interns. And they didn't have these models. It was my job to do these ones, and I didn't do them. I'm afraid that might be the case. These should change a bit. Okay, well, there's one that works. As we can see, this is way cooler. The tilt is all fucked up. Possibly I could still fix these in the live. I just want to see the models, basically, that they work. Okay. Because this is a way cooler and more appropriate style of a weapon. Like if we compare to these are very minimalistic, very not even stylized. I would say this is like low poly, sort of. But at least we got a lot of models. That's okay. But we want to be using these or this types of weapons. So I'm just gonna go ahead and find a one that may work a little better. Let's open Notepad. We need to do the tutorial quest. and trainer NPCs. But first, let's play around with this. Got weapons. Great sword. Okay. Let's do sword 10. Oh my lord. That's huge. It's bigger than the player, and it's almost the right way. It's just not... this current character controller is not using inverse kinematics or whatever it's used called, but it's damn close. Like, I think this can be fixed live. The size is just too much. But it looks almost good. The rocks collider is not good here. The old character doesn't fit through doors. The new one does. Easy fix. Just have to kind of work your way through. Then we have the new feature, actually one of the most cool features. Wait, do I own this lot? No. Okay, we're gonna call this Tutorial Castle. I'm gonna claim 100 units. Wait, what? This is my zone. Wow, that's fucked up. I mean, where does it start? I just want to build an altar. Ah, shit. What do we need? One plate and normal stone. Shit. Why did I name it like that? There. Done. Okay. So this is the new feature. It's basically... well, this is just a crafting book, but this is what we should see. When we click here, we got the little eyeball icon, which is laggy. But the idea is that we can use this crafting table. We should probably rename that, or just remove the title. But the idea is to use this crafting mechanic as sort of a sacrifice. We could say sacrifice these items to whichever god. The word craft could just be use. In this instance, we could just interact with any crafting table or crafting station and use items on it. The other window that opens doesn't open anymore. I think I encountered this bug as well. There is a button for the crafting book. Here. We got that down. Claims, player shops, talents, rankings, achievements, skills. Another crafting book. Why is there two? No one knows. We just lost the thing that we wanted to have. Although that is a debate, or debatable. Do we want to have strictly... Oh my. Strictly crafting, recipe-based crafting? You know, you need to know a certain... you need to have a certain skill to craft. Like, this would be a list of skills. And then you need the ingredients, and then you can craft. Or... and we can have both. The other option is that we have the little grid, like in Minecraft or in other survival games or whatever, where you place the items into the grid and then the combination of certain items will produce a certain outcome. I really wish I would have made these into NPCs. Well, the default skeleton actually is probably usable. Skeleton player. Let's try that. We probably want to use this person. Let's actually do the tutorial skeleton. And that should do it. And we may want to do the... come on. Tutorial skeleton dude here. We don't have the quests done. We could just... well, do we have quests? We actually do have a tutorial quest. Okay, spawn. There we go. We have skeleton that unfortunately isn't in the right fucking layer. How mad is that? Okay. I want to see what the skeleton players look like. Anyway, that's a flop. Oh. Well, I can't do the boobs one because I'll get banned from YouTube and Twitch. Friendly bear, let's say. And it should have the quest. This guy's also not clickable. Have I done something horribly wrong? Blacksmith. Am I stupid? I'm sure this worked before. These guys are working. What if I add a merchant table? Okay. Okay, so it does work. I'm just stupid. Let's try the final hunt. And remove, can we remove? merchant table somehow. Fuck. Because I'm sure this works. I'm quite sure. Blacksmith. Fuck. Do a start quest. Should we do dialogue instead? Great book. Wait. Did I just figure it out? Am I so stupid? This blacksmith dude is using the same sort of a model as our player characters, but as you can see, his belly is different. He has a mustache. The player characters also have mustaches. You just can't add them. But the issue is the blend shapes, which if you don't know, which you probably don't know, is the exact body measurements. For example, the belly, which is a little bit bigger with this guy, actually does work online because it's pre-built onto this character. All of the clothes are working just fine, such as the apron covering the belly and the belt. What I'm just thinking is what is the most practical way to implement similar, like, okay, starting from scratch. I would think that if you do hard-coded customization for your character, such as you can make its belly bigger, you can just use a totally different preset character, but the issue becomes the more complex you want to take it. There are combinations of, do you want to be muscular and fat, or just skinny and muscular, and so on. And the face modding, which works well with Yuma because it already has integration for this. Surely I'd be smart enough to figure it out. Right? I mean, the best way to do this would be to use a blend shapes manager. But I'll actually have to quit the game to check. If indeed the blacksmith has the blend shape manager or not. I think you're fine. Yeah, you have to use it at first, but then you can remove it from the game object, which is a player or any character, and the shapes will remain, suggesting that when those modifications have been made, we can render them easily, which also would mean we should be able to do that in real time, at least somewhat, before when we're loading the characters. Similar to what Yuma works like, except Yuma renders them real time. It's over a year now since I dropped the Yuma out of the project. It was a working system, to be honest, but it is so buggy, so horrible to work with. And I even figured it out mostly, how to use it, how to make, even started dabbling into how to make new clothes and stuff. And it works live perfectly, except it has issues, especially relating to the fact that it only renders live. When it comes to clothing and such, it's really hard to, for example, make physics simulations like for the cloth, so that it wouldn't be sort of glued onto your character, which it simply only renders. Let's say you have a shirt on and you make a fat character, it's the same shirt as with a thin character, but it's just stretched around your belly. But the cloth doesn't have any properties or physics which would make it like wobble or what's it called? Stretch. Or I don't know. But we have tools for that as well. We can't use those tools or methods with Yuma because it's rendering in real time. You have a certain base of characters, clothing, other parameters built so that they can just fit onto whatever body shape. The similar thing is with the Infinity PBR, or the similar logic works here as well with a blend shape manager, except we are using quote-unquote physical game objects instead of, or pre-built game objects instead of real-time rendered game objects, let's say. And I know I may be wrong, that you may possibly do the cloth simulations and whatnot with real-time rendered clothing, but I just know instantly how to do it with like normal game objects or prefabs instead of that way. So I've pretty much made my mind up about not using Yuma anymore, like 99%, even though I spend a good chunk of money on it, like maybe a 200 on the, maybe not that much, maybe like 50 to 100 on the models for Yuma. I've spent way more than that on other kinds of compatible models and clothing and armor and anything else. So the blacksmith resources. Oh wow, where is it? Here. Okay, so it does have the blend shape manager. But again, this is a local thing. If I would make any changes onto this file, or the character, Jesus, blacksmith, whatever, they would not come into effect before I do a patch or game update. So, and we see it, we did a little bigger belly, but we could similarly just increase the size of the butt, for example. If I see it somewhere, ears, oh, it was brow, stomach, nipples, male fat. How much fat do we have? It's the max. Butt size, okay, it's right here. So we could just do that. And this. It's a little laggy, but there's good increments there. You could do pretty specifically what we want. And that kind of detail and the complexity that comes from having this specific character customization options is going to be the issue if you're doing the easy way, which is hard coding all the different models. An easy example of a game would be, or a hard coded customization character creation would be that you have like different parts, like hairstyles can be easy because your head size may not vary. But what if you have different sizes of biceps and forearms and hands and legs, and how much of that do you want to allow? That was one of the issues with Yuma as well, because you could make these ridiculous looking characters, which is fun at first, but it really ruins the feel of the game if you want to be a little more serious. There's people with like 3 times the head size of the rest of the torso or the body. This system by default has pretty good limitations. Actually, you can't make anything too crazy. Pupil shape. Wonder what that does. How do we move slower? There was some way to move slow. I don't know. Space maybe? No. It's doing too much. Okay. Pupil shape. Oh. Okay. So I'm just really curious about having these parameters on the server. Basically, that's all we want, really, right? If we want to be really simple about it, all we need is a way to communicate this data between the server and the clients, and the clients already have the data. So technically, it might be possible to do that live, although I do really feel like there's probably going to be a small hotfix update to implement it anyway. Or possibly we want to have to do some changes on the server side. But technically, if we go into the character creator selection, whatever it's called, the Yuma one had pretty simplified things when it comes to this, but it has a system of its own which is relying on, and we're using a similar system, a different system. This one, then. Where is it? Okay, so right side. Is it flipped? Customizer. So for example, in the body or in the head, we don't have anything. We have the modular DNA slider, which doesn't work. It only has the skin color. Technically, this probably could work also. But in here, similarly as in the Modular character DNA panel. And it's using the hair. And I think we should have actual player characters here. So we can just have a little... Ah, fuck. Never mind. Ah, there we go. So the female actually still has these. Let's open up a pane or fucking PowerPoint or something. Let's do PowerPoint for this. We need to teach ourselves to understand what's happening. What's this? Fuck off. Oh. So this can be closed. Blend shapes to add a plan. Okay. Then we can just, is there a better, maybe this. Okay, so we have the client. Okay, let's go even deeper. We have the mob / player, which is a game object / or a prefab with blend shapes IFBR. I don't know if that's how you do it, but anyways. Then actually, let's just open it a little bit. With IFBR blend shapes, shape script, blend shape manager script, which is this blend shapes manager script, whatever. It already contains a lot of the details that we want to use, and it can produce the outputs that we want. Now, the client then renders the base model onto the blend shape. Can we just shorten it into BSM? Renders the base model according to the BSM attributes. And what do we call the items? Are they just shapes? They're just blend shapes. So we can just leave it at that. That includes body shapes, face, clothing, hair, ... And then the server doesn't really need to know much of about that. We just have attribute, or we can call it variable Oh, yeah. Actually, let's make it even more vague. Shit. It's variable data. Call it BSM data. That's all. We have the built-in local system, such as with all the hair. It's built in here. What? Oh yeah, it was female. It exists in there, even though if you don't see it, it's done very stupidly. But this is one alternative, as like a stupidly easy way to do it. So I did it instead of the live render way. I don't think we're sacrificing any performance because of this. I could be wrong. But similarly as having this hair here. And if we now, we must not save this because we're in the actual scene. But if we would now make the head a little bit bigger. Mouth, nose, lip, jaw, forehead. Okay, forehead is perfect. If we make the forehead a little bigger, the hair should adapt instead of just rigidly stay in place where it spawned, or where was it? I just totally lost it. Where's forehead? There. Okay. Okay, so we kind of see the hair coat going along with it. I didn't really want this. Similarly with this. There's no issue with this. And I kind of have a fear that somebody's already done like the integration for this. But then again, it wouldn't hurt to know how to do it yourself, of course. We already have a built-in way to export range files. Ranges, again, are these values. You have the blend shapes. For example, the body has the butt size and the butt lower depth and the butt upper depth, and you can, make it bigger, smaller, etc. So those are called ranges. You're able to save and load range files which contain predefined values for min and max levels. Okay. Note, for those who use the previous version of the Blend Shapes Manager, you are able to import range settings, export it from that script to migrate your settings to the new version. Use the new script, blend shape presets to create and manage groups of preset and randomized blade shape values. Okay, that confused me more than helped. But I guess I'm already on top of that. I think the preset manager is a bit towards the hard-coded thing that you could easily just pull like a profile of different range values into this BSM or whatever. Do we have any of these? Okay, it doesn't have a certain file type. Choose path. We can export these. So here's another thing with like dynamic updates. These should be the things that we could just update constantly. I'm just gonna have a little peek at the script. I'm afraid I probably shouldn't or can't show you this. And fortunately, it's on the other screen. Hold up. Okay, first of all, let's get out of here before I save by accident. Don't save. March 20th, 2022. I think I fixed this bug by replacing the comment out code below with the one above this. Comment block, i.e. the index was not always in the same order. So we need to get the index on the shape on the target of the on the target object name. So we need to get the index on the shape on the target object name. Sorry. If we can't find one, then we return out. This should work, but leaving this comment here in case it doesn't work as expected, so I can find it later. That is some quality commenting right there in the code. Unfortunately, you don't see what I'm seeing right now, but this is like chef's kiss. So I'm just gonna kind of having a glander at what the code is like. What kinds of variables could be passed around, because if we can just add them to whatever script we may use, for example the OGU engine here, which I actually can show you because it's fully my code. I don't want to be sharing like others. Bread and butter, basically. You have to pay for this code. Okay, so we have ooh, this is super professional. It's hard to read at first. So we have the values there defined in there in somewhere else, or actually they're probably dynamic, right? This just is the logic to use them, like trigger auto matches, user matches, percent from minimum. Yeah, we were supposed to do the tutorial quest, but we got sidetracked very badly. But we're not stopping. We're actually gonna go humans. To demo files. Animations, prefabs. Surely there's like scenes here. Demo scenes. Okay, so humans. Just to have a little peek. All this exists locally, which you can just interpret like the features exist in the game, but only in the game client and not so much online. Let's see if it actually starts. So this is a sort of a character creation. Where I think it should let us. Okay, it's a boring one where you have just 2 buttons for randomizing the blend shapes and resetting. Super randomized, maybe later. Okay, rotate the camera. Stop. As we're doing these randomizations, you can barely see any difference. But actually, they're subtly changing. It's probably also because I have so low resolution on the stream. But if we do super randomize, it's also boring. Because of course, any good RPG would have character customization, and well, they vary between different games. Of course, what level of depth or detail you can change. Did we just crash the game? Well, yeah, this would be one of the things I have to work on. I think it would be very nice to have it. But I don't want to be too dependent on the Infinity PBR itself. I want to build in the backend and the game itself so that we have easily customizable characters. And I think... Let me follow up on this thought in a sec. BRB.
TDS should work on YouTube also. TDS didn't work on YouTube.
Right. Just gonna have a little look. What we have over here. We have elves, we have goblins. All those fancy little things, and we just have the integrated blend shape manager thing. Where's our little PowerPoint? Also, why isn't the YouTube connected? Chat connected, it says. Well, it doesn't work. We have these. It's actually. Oh shit. We have the code script with blend shape game object. And it has values. Dot values, let's say. Range file from v2. It can be used as a text asset. That's what we want. So I think these are referring to, yes, the range files are going to be split into strings from text. There's a very sophisticated, okay, this is looking, what is that? Right when I got to say that this looks very sophisticated, I found a little, I don't know, a little weird thing from the code. Wonder why that is. There's 3. All right. I don't know how to explain it. This is the same as clicking the button in the blend shape manager inspector. It will first attempt to relink any missing game objects which may have been turned off or deleted, but may be available now. Then it will load new shapes, remove unused objects, and finally set the values. So we're moving into loading blend shape data function, where we have a transform array of game objects. Get components in children transforms true. Attempt relinks. Load new shapes. Remove unused objects. Set all shape values. If I remember correctly, this was a rather boring little town. There seems to be some missing textures. I mean, this is okay, but it's sort of lifeless. There's only the color scheme is so bland. I mean, the town itself is pretty cool. We even have a little dinner table here with steak and an orange and some coins and candles and utensils and a fish. This is pretty nice, but it's not what's gonna make the game. I mean, this kind of stuff is pretty cool. Let's have a little better look. Yeah. Chest. Of course, we can't just asset dump this. Of course we could, but we're not gonna. Oh wow! With these towers. They're actually built inside as well. We have stairs. There's some sort of a latch door. Yeah. The lighting helps a lot to figure out what's going on. Because the colors are so bland. But I guess it's okay. Because it's truly, it is the lighting that's supposed to create the shapes with shadows and so on. So this is okay. I mean, we could implement all of these buildings into the game as buildable objects. And the city is pretty decent. This is just a demo scene, of course. But we could imagine that some player may have, or players, or guild of players may have built this eventually to look like this. What's this? Right? So, oh wow, we have interiors. It's probably going to be super dark on the stream. Like this. Why isn't this used more? Or am I just Am I tripping? Is this the same texture? Let's turn off the lights. It is literally the same texture, maybe. There's a little orange hue on it. What about like these smaller houses? Do they have interiors? I would really doubt. Oh my god. They actually do. Well, okay, I may have underestimated the value of this asset. Because these are all furnished. The doors are closed and all, but, you know. Please tell me you can open the door. Oh my god. Wow. No way. Oh shit, you probably can't see this. You could actually open the drawers and the closets and everything. And of course the chest. Does it have a lid? Of course. Oh, perfect. That's gonna be easy to animate. I'm loving this. Actually, this is exactly what I was on the verge of like rage quitting because I opened the code and I just dove in the deep end basically. But we have so much fun things to do, like the level design and the world creation. We have so many assets we haven't even explored yet. And the good thing about these is that they're individual pieces that can be used anywhere, like this one. Well, I bet that this, yeah, exactly. This breaks down into wheels, probably other little pieces that it has, maybe even down to planks at some instances. Okay, not in that instance. It is a bit of a task, like a big task. No, actually, it's not a big task. Okay, let's actually do this. World building. World builder. Game mechanic for base building. Build objects. Game objects loaded during runtime. Okay. So, well, actually, we'd probably be better off in an Excel sheet than a PowerPoint. Let's just keep it open for now. We can play around with it. Yeah, This is just so dark. It's not the same as what you guys see for me. And the contrast or something is different on my monitor than on the stream. But I've just made a revelation about all these fucking little bits of detail within, like, we could make all of this part of the game, like, individually. Let the players play around with as much as properties of the models as possible, like opening a drawer like this, which you can probably again see because of the fucking lighting, but I think this is too cool to be true. What about this one? And of course the lid comes off. That is amazing. I mean, like, I'm amazed. The game already has mechanics for building doors that are openable and closable by people who have access to open the doors. We can use key mechanics, like I mean key as in an actual physical or a digital key to open the door, or maybe you're a guild member and you can open a certain door, or maybe you need a certain achievement or a certain amount of power or strength to open a door because it's heavy, etc. You have all this content waiting to be harnessed, basically. Oh my god. But the loading times are huge with like such detail. Like we can have individual logs. I mean, we could just duplicate, make more of these. Wait, what the fuck are these? What? I'm confused. What are these? I have zero clue. Okay. Alright. Wow, okay. Let's have a little more look around. Like, I think we've seen most of the stuff. I've already seen these in the prefab layout where they have basically everything just lying around, but this, somebody has actually spent time to put mats on the floor and oranges on the table. Oh, this is the exact same table we've seen on the setup, but the point is that it has individual little... Okay, I'm just tempted to do a layout reset there. Because I'm not sure why is it showing those things. Somebody just went through the trouble of setting up all these furnitures inside of these houses. We could do the same thing, or we could let the player do this. Like how cool it would be to have a, I don't know, an orange on the table or anywhere. And then when you pick it up, you get it in your inventory. It's totally possible. We might go a little bit into like more into a survival game in like territory or a looter. Well, this is definitely not good. Like, well, what do you expect? Every house to be perfect? I mean, they are. For all intents and purposes, they're pretty perfect. Then there's a random fish. I think we've been here before. Wow, I'm impressed with all this stuff. Let's see the other one. Because when I came into this, I said, this is going to be a rather boring scene. You know, there's just houses randomly spread around, but there actually is a lot of detail. Here we have another demo scene. I'm just going to close the... Let me test the YouTube again. Let's try to type test.
Tesser.
Oh, okay. Kind of worked. Okay.
It does work. You're just an idiot.
Yeah, I know. So the violet texture here, the infamous missing material texture. What if we just do green materials? I'm just spitballing here. I think we could just cheese this. Leaf. Doesn't work. Well, to be fair, it's not orange. I mean, violet anymore. Leather. What about this? It's worse. What if we just do green? Green emit. That's just green. Dark green. Yeah. It's horrible. Yeah, those are supposed to be like vines. Okay, I suppose I could just Ctrl-C until they're missing again. We could just kind of fuck. All right. Okay. Okay, so these houses, these are empty, or these actually don't have any insides at all. So these would be a little more PC friendly. A little boring, if you ask me. These are just decorations at this point. The last one actually... What? Okay, we had something in there. But it's underground and you can't get there, right? Yeah. Why? There's a door even. Like what? We have like a basement that you can't access. Okay, that wasn't my favorite. Let's see what else we have. No. Okay, so these were something I didn't add. This was one of the things that were added by one of the interns. Don't know why I still have remnants of it. I would really like to use only the assets I've decided to use. Fantasy Forest. Okay, this I remember. And remember, this is not all the assets I have. I can load more of them into here. Doesn't this have... I don't think this is perfectly loaded. It's supposed to have like a scene. Yeah. What's that? Demon. Ooh. Okay. Don't save. So we kind of want to do a little inventory, let's say, of what sorts of environmental assets we have when we start doing, well, building. Okay, this is good. This is good. Is this the one I was looking for? It's looking very nice. There's fallen trees. I don't know what that is. Maybe the wind direction? It's a logo of some sort. There's grass. Different types of grass. Dead bushes. Or frozen bushes, I should say. And then trees. And terrain. Or, well, it's just a mesh. It's actually kind of decent, to be honest. Now let's see what they've done with the demo scenes. Surely it's not just this. Yeah. Let me add light. So we have snow. We got trees. This looks very good. Why haven't I used this? Is this terrain? Has to be, right? But all the trees and everything, they're just objects? Yeah, there's a rock. What about the tree? Oh, the trees are trees and the bushes are bushes. Okay, I'm loving this. Let's see the second one. Oh, wow. I don't even think this is the... This is not the one that I was looking for, but I found a good winter pack. Like this, like very realistic, like in my opinion at least. Looking very good. What the fuck is this though? Global settings. Okay, yeah, it's wind. AG. Let's run this. I can't remember the AG because I have a different winter asset pack. Shit, I've drank third beer already. I should do this more often. This is the fun part of game development. Not being stuck on hard problems, but actually looking at pretty pictures. Can we move? Oh yeah. Yeah, this is beautiful. I guess yeah, we really have to like we have to find a way to do the world streamer, which in a nutshell is just a system that optimizes a big map, a big scene in Unity terms, and cuts it into chunks and renders them piece by piece when you get closer to them with your camera or your player. So I need like all of this stuff right here. I should like, I'm gonna write this down. Let's do another one. Good to know shit. Angry Gamers Winter set. Winter environments. Stuff. And let's do it this way. Winter environments. Angry Gamer set. And then we have the other one. I'm pretty sure we have another one. Let's go winter. Ice World, right? This is 2 gigabytes. Compatible up to 23.2. We are using 22.3, which is there. Oh, it was Angry Mesh and not Angry Gamer. Wonder where I got that from. It was AG. I thought AG stands for Angry Gamer, but it's actually Angry Mesh. And then there's the fuck are these weather makers? I purchased this last year. Okay, I need to see this. Probably part of some package or bundle. There's no way I paid $45 for this. Surely it was part of some bundle. Okay. Alright, yeah, I was right to assume that. So the Ice World, again, may not be that far to need this yet, but this is AAA stuff. Let me just show you. It's cracked ice, perfect reflection, multiple ice materials with ice death effect. So I read the line. It's stating what I was trying to say. So yeah. Okay, here it mentions, shit, go back. Here it mentions the RIM, lakes, rivers, waterfalls, support with smooth connection between materials. So this is one of the tools I'm using for the river splines, either like water, obviously, and lava also. And lakes, and swamps, and seas, what have you. So that's a good thing. I don't think they are. Oh wait, it's the same producer or the same author. These are the materials: transparent, opaque, top cover, planar, non-planar, PBR, translucent, and metallic shader variants. So in layman's terms, you have a lot of options how to use these textures, and it looks very good. Of course, it's 2 gigabytes. 2 gigabytes is always 2 gigabytes, but you know, look at this. It's just ice and snow. Yeah, you're actually correct. But we're still gonna document it. Ice World materials. And yeah, I don't think we need it now. Where was it good to visit? And of course we have the Real Valley Forest. Which is also built for high definition and Unity render pipelines. We're using the built-in RP. So it doesn't look as good as it can look. I don't really know if we should even make an HDRP project, because I'm definitely not going to be not going to be migrating into using that render pipeline or the high definition render pipeline, because I've tried that a few times and there's more issues than you would prefer to have. So cancel. That was the package, actually. Oh, this has a snowy one as well. It's actually, what is it called? Real landscape. Let's call it valley forest snowy. These are also AAA. I think these are nature manufacturers. Maybe not. But these are very good quality assets. And what we already have implemented in the... Whoops. What the fuck? Okay, so let's just play the game, I guess. This is next level. The last one we saw was a realistic indie game look. But this, the exact same scene that is in the live game right now, but the snowy version, is actually so much better. This is like AAA quality, not in terms of graphics, because again we're using the built-in render pipeline. We can do a lot better, but that's not really what I'm aiming for here. It's just this level of detail. And should we have this level of detail is not really something I can answer, but I would really, really like it. Like, you're looking at 720p. I can see a lot more detail here than you guys, but yeah, it is beautiful. But the thing is, when you start doing this much clutter, it's looking way better. It's way more pleasing to the eye, but on the lower end PCs, it starts to get, like my PC, for example, is shit. So running the game on full graphics, even without the HDRP, is an issue. So, I don't know. That's something that has to be balanced, like how much you want to spend on good-looking graphics versus how much do you want the playability to suffer because of it, or do you just demand higher-end PCs or computers? And you could get away with using this stuff with proper optimization. So, we have a lot of movement for the wind, even without leaves, I think. Should we increase the wind? We should see some different action. Yeah, it looks kind of crazy, actually. Maybe the direction isn't certain. Like, what the fuck? These trees are going like opposite directions. Has to be like straight from above. Wind speed. Flutter strength. Okay. I would really like to see the direction. What? Does it not? Like, it does have a rotation, so I'm guessing that if I just spin this, I should see some changes in the direction. And this is another thing. I'm a total noob, but these trees, huh? Wait a minute. Okay, I was wrong. How does this work? Surely it doesn't work. But it does. Is this tree just staying still? It's not moving. This tree we have selected. It's definitely moving. Am I crazy? Let's just move it, right? It does move. Okay, so what I was about to say is that the wind doesn't work on prefabs, but only on the terrain trees. Right, yeah, there we go. A flying tree with wind. So the question comes, motion vectors. How does it know to interact with the wind? There's a capsule collider, but that's hardly it. It's just for the base, the trunk, whatever, the shaft of the tree. I'm actually kind of baffled about this. What if we just turn it upside down? Oh shit. Doesn't bother it at all. See, why I'm interested in this working is that instead of using the terrain trees, which I can quickly demonstrate, are easier to plant into the world, because you can paint them like this, and they just work. The wind just works instantly. But apparently, you can have game objects, because these, I don't consider these as typical or normal game objects. You can't interact with these. These are just part of the terrain. They're generated as part of the terrain data, and they can not as easily be removed if you don't have a tool that can do this, you know. And the classic types of game objects, such as the flying tree over there, can be used for, I don't know, interactive objects, such as a tree that you could cut down. So I'm just gonna do that. I really need to go and test the Limbo now. We've had the weather manager and the wind before. But I'm not quite sure if it works currently. This is also stuff that is rendered locally, but can be manipulated through the server. For example, you can create a local, let's say, an explosion that creates a wind effect in every direction, so that the leaves or the bushes and the trees, they kind of flutter away from the explosion, creating the effect of a shockwave. So that explosion can be triggered via the server. Let's say somebody throws a bomb that triggers the explosion, but locally your game calculates, okay, here's the explosion. We have to generate wind in all directions and then animate the trees as you may, with an explosion. Oh yeah, I found a security risk. I'm gonna write it down somewhere, but you can't see it because that wouldn't be smart. Hmm. Okay. So the wind. We don't actually see that. Do see that, but come on. Stop lagging. Actually, the trees kind of look like they're moving a little bit. Am I just tripping? Oh, they are definitely moving. So there are ways to add wind. It's just a feature of the Unity engine. You have a wind zone. This could do it. Or not. It's probably this one, as we dealt with before. So now we would be looking at some sort of a storm, let's say. Armor is the perfect, like, you don't need to take your armor off to shit in battle. That is perfect. But this amount of wind looks a little wonky. The trees are all reacting into different, like, different times. It looks pretty weird. But all the trees are reacting. I want to see the ones that are actually cuttable. Well, actually, am I just learning stuff about my own game? This is a tree that you can drop down. You can clearly see it move. There's no question about that. Oh. Oh. What? You can even climb the tree because it's so awesome. Got stuck. Fuck. It's pretty cool. Whee! All right, I think that's enough. We got 3 hours and 2 minutes. Actually, we're gonna do 2 minutes more, and we hit the 3 hour mark for no particular reason. I can't. I need to sprint. Only 2 minutes. Need to kill the gods. Kill the gods. Shit. Need to glitch through the ground here. Fuck off. Got 1 minute left. We run ass first into combat. There we are. Okay, I need some skills. Ha ha ha. Okay, I'm not doing anything apparently. Does this work? Oh! Pew pew pew. Pew 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 pew. Does that actually work? I didn't even know we have a slow skill. Shit. The stream went offline. Is it? Oh, it went over 3 hours.